Hi guys, welcome back. In last video we saw how we can use OpenAI through Python SDK. In this video we'll finally start with LangChain, and we'll see what exactly is LangChain, why would we use LangChain, and we'll also set up the exact same OpenAI setup we did in the last video through LangChain. Uh, this is the plan of the video series as well. We'll build everything without and with LangChain so that you know the difference and you actually know the importance of LangChain. Like, why would we go for it? Uh, the straightforward answer is it makes life simple. It makes coding simple. It already has inbuilt functions for a lot of things, and that's why we would go for LangChain. Let's so this is the home page. Let's go to the LangChain product itself. Yeah, yeah. I think this image summarizes what exactly is LangChain properly. There are these different components. Like when we use LLM in any project or in any application, there is these components that are surrounding the LLM that we use a lot. So, for example, text splitter. So, this text splitter is something like chunking. So, let's say we have like a huge document, and we want to chunk that document so that maybe for some reason we want to send uh, one particular chunk to the LLM. In this case, it's like a RAG example. Let's say you want to have that chunking algorithm. So you can write your own chunking algorithm based on some criterias, but LangChain has this text splitter code already present. So you can already, like, you can just use this chunking code out of the box, and they have like different mechanisms of chunking as well. So anything that you need would mostly be there in LangChain. Similarly with like output parsers, document loaders, so it supports like loading many different types of documents, like PDF, docx, ppt, to get the text out of it and directly pass it through LLM. You can basically do everything that we do without LangChain, but you'll see, like, if you learn LangChain, you need not learn like 100 different things. uh, Another very big advantage of LangChain is, like, if you're building a project, let's say with using OpenAI as your LLM, and later on down the line, maybe you decide to change the LLM in your project, or maybe even you want to use different LLMs in the same project. So LangChain has integrations for all of these models. So you don't have to worry too much about which LLM you're using right now. You can later on down the line in the project, you can change like one or two, three lines, and all the model is changed for the entire project. So that is very useful. And you need not learn like different SDKs for each of the models out there. You can just learn LangChain, and you can like basically use any model. You will still need API keys or your own deployment if you're using open source models, open source LLMs, to provide it to LangChain. LangChain itself is not an LLM or does not provide any LLM out of the box, but it's like an integration, you can say. So any of the LLM, you can use it through LangChain, or any of these, we'll see a lot of these tools. I'm saying tools, but tools is another entity here. A lot of these components are present, and we'll use a lot of these components as well as we go along in building projects. But you'll realize like the importance of LangChain when we build it without LangChain first, and then with LangChain. You'll realize how easy it is uh, to build projects with LangChain. So now that we have discussed what is LangChain and why would anyone go for LangChain, why would we go for LangChain? Let's go ahead, read the documentation, and let's at least set up the OpenAI side of LangChain so that we can use OpenAI APIs through LangChain. Let's go to get started with Python. So it takes you to the documentation, and yeah, let's go to building a simple LLM application for now. Don't worry, like we'll build a lot of things using LangChain, and on the way, I'm hoping like we learn a lot of LangChain. I've seen many tutorials just focusing on LangChain. That is also a good way to learn, but I still felt like there is a gap in like why we are doing the things the way we are doing through LangChain and not without LangChain. So I hope this will give like a bigger holistic view. So yeah, so this is simple. Like LangChain can be installed using pip install LangChain. We won't worry too much about Langsmith for now. Maybe in the future in the tutorial. Yeah, using language models is the main focus for us. So you see, they have like all these LLM providers that are there, and basically you can set up any of these integrations through LangChain. We'll mostly be interested in OpenAI, but if you see, they all provide this model object. So if you see Anthropic as well, it will give you the model object using the Claude model, or OpenAI can be used through Azure as well. Google has a Gemini model, which again gives you the model object. If you see here, each of these model object can be invoked. So dot invoke is a method inside model where we send messages. So for every LLM model, like this is for Anthropic, it's the same model dot invoke message, model dot invoke messages, and messages is again list of like this is list of objects. But you get the idea, right? Like once we complete this part of the code, we can use model the same way in every other integration there is. So that makes our code like agnostic to the model, you can say. And you'll be building the project like only once, and you can still experiment with different models. That is like a very big advantage. What exactly I mean by model.invoke is while we were building OpenAI API in the last tutorial, we used chat.completion.create method, if you remember. So here this invoke takes care of that thing, considering our model is a chat OpenAI model. So everything happens internally. They have made the integrations for us, and we just need to learn about model.invoke. That's it, and then we can use like all these models basically. So coming to the messages, they have their own human message, system message classes inside LangChain. So we can have like list of messages. Again, if you remember in last video, we had like one system and one user message. So user message is basically human message here, and even here we can ignore this human message for now, and we can just keep one system message. In fact, let's go ahead and start running this code now. Yeah, let's go to a directory and let's start a notebook. Let me just open this link here. Okay, great. Let me create a new notebook, and let's install LangChain OpenAI. So they have made like different modules for these different model providers. Let's focus on OpenAI for now. Okay, we can restart the kernel. I guess they are asking us to restart. Yeah, so this is done. Let's run this code now, and let's just run this code. Oh, sorry, it's asking for input as the API key here, get pass. Let's not pass the API key in the input or in the code. From the last video, like we do it through .env. So let's just do it through that itself. If you remember, this load.env will find a .env file in the same folder as that of this notebook. So I've added the .env file along with the API key, and maybe I'll need to restart the kernel. Okay, great. So this dot load env was called, and hopefully the correct API keys were exported in the OS. And then we are setting this model to GPT-4. In the last video we set it to 4.0 mini, so we can also set it to 4.0 mini, uh, so that we save a little on cost. And then we are sending this prompt. For now it has like different system and human message. Let's just run and see what happens. Great. So we are getting this AI object, AI message object now. Last time we were getting chat completion while running OpenAI through SDK. So here you see the content is also present. We get the translated phrase for whatever we have given, which is great. And if you notice, like this is kind of familiar, completion token, prompt token. If you remember from the last video, this should all make sense to you. Finish reason is present. Our favorite finish reason. Finish reason is my personal favorite. It gives a lot of information actually. Yeah, another thing to remember is when we discussed all the input parameters, we can actually send the input parameters here as well. So let's say temperature we can send here. If you remember, the higher the temperature value, the more creative our output will be. So we can set the temperature to 2, and now when we ask it to I mean, here there is no scope of creativity, I guess. It's just a single word which is to be translated, very simple word. So but yeah, like we can send the parameters that we discussed in the last video for OpenAI, and we can set it here so that we get the same effect. But keep in mind, there might be like few support with respect to few parameters. So because this is LangChain, we don't know like what all things they have integrated, or if at all they have integrated everything. So if you want a specific thing from a specific SDK, you might have to end up using that and not rely on LangChain. That is one kind of disadvantage of LangChain. Yeah, there are negatives about LangChain as well. It's not like everything is good about it, but yeah, that is something we can decide. In general, like the very important params will usually be present in LangChain is what I'm hoping. At least till now, it has proven to do that same thing. So yeah, like we can still go ahead with it without worrying too much. But if you have like very specific, extremely specific use case which LangChain does not support and the SDK does, we might have to drop using LangChain as well. So it's important to learn both the ways, how to build the project with and without LangChain as well. Yeah, in the output side, so in the message side, this is fine. Like this is just content, and this is a system message. So we can send just a system message by giving the input here itself. Hi. Maybe I'll also learn some Italian on the way, I guess. So yeah, we are getting this output content with along with the other metadata that is there. Let's go back to the doc. So they are saying about the output parsers here. So they are saying like the thing that they are saying is AI message. This is the object that it returns when we invoke the model. This contains string along with the metadata about response. Oftentimes we just want to work with the text content, so this parser can be useful is what they are saying. So what we can do is we can use this parser, and let's store our result in a variable here. We can have parser dot invoke, and we can send our result here so that it gets parsed correctly. So you see it only prints the content now. Now again, this is useful because OpenAI has certain metadata and inside which properly the content is placed. Some other model might have some other way that it has placed its content in some other structure. But this unifies everything. Like we'll get a result properly, which we'll send it to the standard output parser, and we'll get the content. And most of the times, let's be real, we only care about this prompt and the final content. we don't really care like how exactly we are keying into which content and which choice, etc., etc. So this makes it like somewhat simpler, we can say. Also very good to understand as well. So yeah, the code is a little unorganized, I would say. Like the imports are randomly placed, but yeah, this is how you can use OpenAI. We have basically sent a prompt and gotten a response using OpenAI. Just remember the API key was still exported, so we are still getting billed. It's not like LangChain is doing some magic or anything that we are saving money or anything. We are still paying to OpenAI if at all we choose to use OpenAI, which we are choosing to. So yeah, and then we can discuss more about LangChain later on. Let's not get overwhelmed right now with LangChain. We'll learn gradually everything. But this is like a simple code where you can still invoke OpenAI through LangChain and get our LLM response. Whatever we learned in the previous video about input and output parameters using OpenAI still holds true here. So it's not like without learning about OpenAI you can just start using LangChain. To some extent, yes, you can do that. Like for example, you can just change the model here to Anthropic and start using Claude model and start sending prompts without even worrying about anything like any input parameter that they might have or the way they give the output, and you'll still get the output content, right? So that is good. Yeah, that's about LangChain for now, like how we can invoke OpenAI through LangChain. Yeah, in the next video, I was planning to start building a very small project through OpenAI. We'll do it maybe a video after that. The next video, I would like to discuss about tokenizer a little and what exactly we mean by tokenization and how OpenAI tokenizes. I'll see you in the next video then. See you. Thanks.